Welcome everybody to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Monday night so we can talk about Hunt for Love. What's good?
What's up, everybody? What's
Not much. What's up?
it's
Now,
Sunday.
now I hate to talk about another show, but I like DM'd with someone that used to listen to like our Twitter spaces like 5 minutes ago, and I said, "Do you still listen to our podcast?" And then they said, "I don't listen because I don't watch 90 Day Fiance anymore. I'm sorry." And then I asked them like, oh, I said, "Oh," and then I said, "Love Island instead?" Question mark. And they said, "Yes, but I'm not caught up yet." And then I said, "Ha, figured."
So they left for Love Island.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, Love Island is good, but I will say I've talked to a lot of fanatics and they said that this season was like the worst season. So they were like, "You started in the worst season ever." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I'd have nothing to base it on." But they were like,
Mhm.
"You would have loved it so much more if you started it last season." So apparently season 6 they said was much better than whatever is going on now. So
So I heard that they booted one chick because she had to use like an Asian slur or something.
they
mhm.
booted another person for racism. And I was like,
Mhm.
at this point, just start over. Like, because now I don't even know what we're watching now because everyone gets, and they don't even like tell you what happened. You just
Mhm.
turn on the show and the person is no longer there with no like explanation. So it's like ridiculous.
And then like, and I know Huda's like crazy popular now, where she has like 2 million followers. When she posts something on Instagram, like in 20 minutes, it'll get like 200,000 likes or some shit. Um, but then like you know how with the whole cancel culture thing, like the thing I saw on Twitter, and sorry to turn this into a Love Island podcast, even though I don't even watch it, but um like I saw on Twitter there was like a video of her like lip syncing like a rap song that had like the N-word in it, and then they were trying to say like she said the N-word, but she was like lip syncing the rap song. So they're trying to like cancel her off that bullshit.
I mean, if you kick everybody off the show, we're not going to have a show. So I don't know what. And the girl that they just kicked off, she was like a day one, episode one person, right?
Mhm.
No, she came in as a bombshell. She was like day 2 or 3.
Oh, day 2 or 3. So she's been here since like almost the beginning. So now the show is like, I don't know. It loses its authenticity for me when they just start randomly kicking people off without explanation. Because
Mhm.
you get to know the cast members and they build these bonds and relationships, and then the next day you turn on the show and they're gone. And it's like, I don't know, whatever happened to a social media background check and a social media swipe? Because you're supposed to go online and you do a social media swipe, you pay someone, these
Mhm.
companies will do it and they'll go and remove anything that would be considered offensive from the internet before you go into production. And it's like, Love Island clearly has lots of money. Their production is insanely crazy. They rent water parks just for two people to go and film at during season. So why can't they
Mhm.
just pay the $500 and do a little social media swipe so they don't have these issues?
Like swipe or sweep.
Oh, they call it a sweep. Yeah, a sweep. You sweep
Yeah.
all of the negative things
Yeah.
from that person and or delete the profiles, whatever you have to do to get it to go away. They do that, and it
Yeah.
only costs $500 or $600. But it seems like they didn't do that for anyone.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like again, I don't really watch Love Island, but I'm gonna have to get on board if people are like not watching 90 Day and they're watching Love Island. And yeah, there's always controversies, so there's a lot of drama to talk about. But anyway, let's get
Mhm.
to the hunt for love drama.
Well, or lack thereof. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
we had the aftermath of Colty flipping out on Rob for
Mhm.
sleeping with Jen or not sleeping with Jen. For some reason, they still to this day, this episode as well, refuse to admit that they slept together, which I think is really odd because
Yeah.
both adults. Neither one of them were in a relationship. I mean, obviously, Rob is still married to Sophie or whatever, but that doesn't count because they're separated. So I was like, why do they keep lying about it? Because lying about it makes it seem like that they did do something wrong, but I feel like they really didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, like Jen especially like lies in every opportunity and every scene about it.
I know. And it's like, are they embarrassed that they slept together? Like, I'm trying to really
Yeah.
understand
I think
why.
it's just like I think what was that like the Shabooty GPT thing about Sophie? It was like accountability allergic or something.
Well, yeah, and it's like, well, it's funny because Tiffany really is holding Jen accountable because she's like, you're stringing him along, you're stringing Cole along. You need to be honest. And Jenn is kind of like, I don't have to tell anyone anything. And I was like, unless you're in a committed or exclusive relationship, I don't
Mhm.
think she don't necessarily need to tell anybody. And I think what also pisses me off is that more people are teaming up on Jennifer than they are on Rob. Because I was like, if a guy has sex, they applaud him, high five. But if a girl has sex, they have to slut shame her. And I was like, I don't feel like
Mhm.
that's fair. She's also single. She's more single than Rob. Rob is married, if we want to get technical. She's even more single than Rob. She's not attached to anybody, but they're trying to make it seem like she did something so wrong by having sex with
Mhm.
a guy and talking to another guy. What's so wrong with that?
I don't know. And then, sorry to like not answer your question, totally derail the line of conversation, but it also annoys me that they keep like teasing the culty injury and then they don't actually show the ambulance full scene every episode.
Yeah, somebody tonight was tweeting and they were like, "Who's in the ambulance?" And I was like, "You know what? You don't listen to 90 Day Fiance Friday. If you did, you know damn well since last year, since before you open your Christmas presents, who was in that damn ambulance." I was like, "So that just shows that you are not listening to the podcast that you need to be listening to, because that's
Mhm.
not even a question that our listeners have to answer. We have already answered that question." So whenever they decide to show it, you know what? It might actually be like one of the second to the last episodes when they finally decide to show.
Yeah, I feel like they're just gonna like run the teaser at the end of every single episode and just not get fully show it until like the end or some bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Colt made it pretty far. I mean, this was episode 7. So I
Mhm.
don't know like specifically how many episodes there are. I thought I heard 12, but I don't know for sure. So he made it pretty far. So I'm assuming that that'll be the next 2 or 3 episodes. We'll finally see him leave for real in the ambulance, and he's gonna be hurt. He won't come back. And then we'll finally see what happens after he leaves or whatever. But yeah. Also, I
Yeah.
want to ask you a question. Can I don't know because I might be ignorant, right? Because I'm ignorant to some things. But Cole tonight said that Jennifer was gaslighting him, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't know that a woman could gaslight a man. I thought gaslighting was something that men do to women. So does it not matter the gender? Can you gaslight anyone? Can anyone gaslight anyone?
Yeah, anyone can gaslight
Yeah.
anyone, and Jen was gaslighting Cole because she wasn't being forthcoming about fucking Rob, and she was pretending like she didn't do shit.
Oh, so that was legit gaslighting because I was like, wait, is that possible? Because usually men are the ones that are doing the gaslighting. So I was like, well, shit. Women
No, the
gaslight
women are as equally expertise at gaslighting.
really? I mean, but for me though, let me just be real here. I'm gonna be real, and it might be unpopular opinion. I don't think Cole has the right to be upset that
Mhm.
Jen is fucking Rob. Okay,
Yeah. No,
before
yeah, I agree. Like he doesn't have a right to be upset, but at the same time, it's annoying that Jen is gaslighting him by continuously acting like she didn't fuck Rob, and when he Cole kind of keeps prying for the real info, she keeps denying and saying, "I didn't even kiss him, let alone fuck him."
but I don't
And
know.
that's textbook gaslighting.
I guess you're right, though. You're right because he's asking for the information so he knows the right direction to go, and she refuses to give him that information. So, no, you're
Well,
right.
she wants to swing him. She wants to have, like Tiffany said, I think she wants to have her cake and eat it too.
Yep, that's what she said. And I think Jen said something tonight along those lines where she said, I want to fuck Rob, but I want to marry Cole.
Yes,
She
she
Yeah.
did.
So, and that's literally gaslighting because she's like, well, I don't want either one of them to know what I'm doing with the other one because I want them both. And I think that is a textbook definition of I want my cake and eat it too.
Yeah, and straight from our comment section, and this isn't me talking, this is the comment section. Elena, who I'm friends with, she says like women are better at gaslighting. Laurie says gaslighting knows no sex. And then let's see, Elena says not just that, but the face Jen called Cole controlling when he wasn't. Oh, Elena, like I think Elena's like a Cole fan, so let's not listen too closely to Elena. And I'm kidding.
But no, I'm glad that I asked this question because I didn't realize that gaslighting works both ways. Now I'm gonna start looking to make sure I'm not being gaslighted because I didn't even realize that women were gaslighting men. I thought men were just gaslighting women. So now I'm gonna be extra cautious and I'm gonna make sure that no one's gaslighting me because I
We're
didn't.
probably just better at it.
Well, right. I think maybe women are better at it, and I don't even realize I'm being gaslighted. I just think I'm wrong. Right? I just think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
She just convinced me I'm wrong, and I believe her.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
it's like when a woman, for example, not related to the show, but like It's like when a woman is cheating on you and then she brings up all your shitty qualities, so then she doesn't feel guilty about cheating on you or whatever, or breaks up with you and but without taking, you know what I mean?
Oh, so that's gaslight. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So it's basically where you did something wrong, and then you bring up.
Well, and it's they did something wrong, but then they're making you seem like you're the
They,
bad guy and like
yeah,
you did something
that will
wrong.
justify it.
Yeah, that
They'll
justifies
justify.
their bad behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, accountability deflection. I
Yeah.
get it, guys. I get it. See, I'm glad I brought this up because I don't think I fully understood what gaslighting meant. So this was a fun little session for me because
Yeah.
now I understand it because Cole is actually getting gaslighted. And I know that Elena's a fan of Cole, right? But I do feel like Cole has some weird
Control issues.
yeah, like I feel like he what's the best way to say this? Like I feel like there might be a Dateline episode with Cole on it in the future because I feel
Mhm.
like he's one of those people where if a woman cheats on him, he will never recover from it. It will hurt
Yeah.
him so much to the core that he will show up there with an axe. Like I feel like
Mhm.
he's too emotionally available, he's too emotionally sensitive. So if someone does something to him, it affects him way more like the way he tracks Jenn down on the island and he's like, "Can we talk about what just happened?" And even
Mhm.
like she's like, "Well, I don't really want to talk about it right now. I would rather we have somebody present so we don't get upset or heated." And I think that's intelligent because when two people are hurt or two people are upset, having a conversation directly after the situation isn't going to be positive. And I think the way that he tracks her down and the way that he talks to her, he has like this weird condescending tone. And don't get me wrong, he was being gaslighted. He was, and he has a right to be upset. It's just this weird thing that I get.
Yeah, he has like I agree, and let me say allegedly, but I agree. Like he has that super like he has that intensity about him, and he's very like meticulous, like a serial killer would be. Like he would track you down, like hunt you, and he if he's a pilot, he's like organized and shit. So he'll like chop you up very in an organized manner.
Well, right. And then he'll take your body and fly you to some weird country
Yeah,
and dump you out of the back of
He
the.
will sell your body parts.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I don't know. He just the way that because a lot of people are like, no, he's not controlling. I don't think he's necessarily controlling. I think that he showcases like a weird dominance over women. Like he's the way that he's like, well, you need to talk about what you did, and do you feel like what you did was wrong? Like he's almost like a dad
mhm,
yelling at their child for doing something bad. And I feel like
He will
men
need to talk to his exes to see how they feel about him.
I know. I do feel like that because it could just be the editing. It could be the TV. He might not be like that, but that's just
mhm,
how he comes across to me. And I was like, when you're in a relationship, everybody is equal. So you don't talk to someone like they're slow. While like I feel like you're equal. You should have an open conversation. And I feel like it's usually him reprimanding her. And I don't understand how that could ever work. Nobody ever wants to be in a relationship where they feel like they're always in trouble and they have to walk on eggshells because you don't know what's going to set him off, and it seems like everything sets him off. Because even when they were in that little counseling session, he was like, I just don't like the idea that I'm here and I'm dedicated everything to being with her and she's
mhm.
entertaining other people. And I was like, bro, y'all just got
You,
here. You
I
just
was
met
gonna say,
her.
you don't know me. You don't know me.
Like y'all just got here. You just met. Before you got here, you didn't even know that she existed on this planet. So how are you giving everything in you to make
Mhm.
this work? I was like, I feel like that's too intense, too fast. And again, that I think people who go really intense really fast, they have these weird what do you
Crash outs.
yeah, attachment issues. And I'm just worried that, Jen might need, I hope they're keeping a close eye on her so she's not being like stalked. Cause I feel like he always finds her when she's alone and he's like, Jen, we need to talk. Jen, we need to, and he doesn't do it in front of other people. He waited till she was walking back to her cabin so he could like corner her. And that was weird for me.
Yeah, and I did a tweet about him. I said, well, I was talking about Jennifer too, but I said I can't stand Jennifer because everything out of her mouth is a lie, and I can't stand Cole because he answers every question like it's a job interview.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's how I feel it is. I feel like everything is really calculated, right? Like
Mhm.
if you ask him to be honest, he's going to give you a politician's answer. And you
Yeah,
don't know how he really feels because he always is trying to say the most politically correct thing. And you don't know if he's upset, sad, hurt, whatever, because he's just giving you this sad, puppy, distraught, angry vibe. But you're like, well, tell me how you really feel. And you'll never get that answer out of him.
Yeah, you don't get like a human response. You get like a robotic, like corporate speak response.
A
Yeah.
chat GPT response.
That's what it is. So it's interesting. We all kind of get it. We all see that about him. And it's so
Hmm.
funny because when we first met him, I thought he was the most like soft loser on the island. I was like, oh, he's probably bisexual. He don't even like women. And I was like, no, I think he totally likes women, like to the point of obsession. I was like, you know what? I read him completely wrong. I think he really loves women to the point where he might stalk them.
Yeah.
Right? Like
He
I had him so wrong.
and again, I'm just talking shit when I say this. I'm just trying to be funny, allegedly. So this isn't about Cole, but he reminds me of the type of person. He'll be like, "For my birthday, baby, all I want is like a pair of your underwear in a Ziploc bag or some shit."
See, yes. I don't know. I don't know what it is about him, y'all, but for real, I just can't. So, oh, we got to talk about a beer bath. So,
Hmm.
Chantel,
And then we got to. I want to talk about Usman.
well, yeah, that's going to be an interesting conversation in itself. But I want to talk about this beer bath because Joe and Chantel were in this beer bath, and I
Hmm.
don't know why you would do a beer bath because I personally I don't like the way beer smells, so I don't want to smell like beer or have beer all up in my crevices. But they
Hmm.
did this beer bath, and I don't know if it was supposed to be sexy or not, but stuff like that, anything where I'm gonna get sticky. I don't find that sexy at all. Like I'm not a get sticky guy. So remember when Tiffany and Carlo did the little mud bath? No, no,
Hmm.
sir. We're not doing that. I don't want to be sticky. It makes me
Not
feel,
even with Tiffany?
no, I don't want to feel disgusting. Like if I'm with my crush, I don't want to feel disgusting. Yes,
Well,
Coco.
I'll do all that shit with Liz. Oh.
Well, yeah, you would, but I wouldn't. I'm not a sticky dude. So like
Mhm.
anything gross,
You
I don't.
can take a shower after.
Then
What's
I
wrong with you?
while we're
Yeah,
on a date, I don't want to feel icky, and I will.
you know who you're reminding me of now, George? Did you reminding me of you remind me of Harold when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a mocktail."
Yes, I would have a mocktail. Any that I don't know, like if I
You'd be like, "Can we have a mocktail bath?"
no, can it just be
Hey,
water? Can it just be
Yeah,
water? Like
hey,
I
yeah,
this
don't
is the
want to.
first that you won't get like freaky like that. But Shabooty and I come to our crushes, we would do that. How is
yeah,
this? What? Yeah. What is? When have the tables started to turn, George?
yeah. I thought I was a square, George. What
No,
happened?
Yeah, me too.
I would feel gross and weird and not at my best. So I would be. It would be an awkward situation with my crush because then I wouldn't feel my best. Like I have to put my best foot forward. I have to have showered hair. Everything has to be perfect. I have to smell good. I have to be in my best state to be with my crush. If I just got out of a mud pile, I'm not gonna feel like I'm in my best state or
Yeah,
look my
but you have to
best.
think of
See,
it. You have to think of it this way: the other person is just as messy as you. So
yeah,
Yeah, it's mostly about me though. It's mostly about.
yeah. I
you
I
think
would.
it's a you
Mariah,
problem.
I don't.
you
I
Mariah.
might be. I'm not. I never said I wasn't the problem, y'all. I never said that.
True. So
So
anyway,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah, that was it with Joe and Chantel. So, oh, they kissed, but the kiss was
Mhm.
very robotic. It was nothing like the really let's get freaky kiss between Chantel and Jennifer. So I'm thinking Chantel might be into the coochie more than she's into the dingaling because it definitely seemed like she was way more into Jennifer and kissing Jennifer because when she kissed
Mhm.
Joe, it was kind of forced. It
Yeah.
really didn't feel like there was a connection there. It was like the producers were like, y'all should kiss. And then they just did it.
And speaking of coochie, so what happened with Usman? He went on a date with Nikki, the chick, the white chick from Florida, and then she told Usman that she was bi, and Usman kind of had a freak out, and he assumed that means she only likes anal sex. He was all confused. Oh, and then our listener Elena, her theory was, tell me if you think it's a dumb theory or not. She thought maybe Usman thought that that means Nikki is trans or something.
Well, that was my thought. I don't know if you were following my tweets, but I was like,
Mhm.
wait, does he think bisexual means because bi means two? That
Or
that
like, or maybe he thinks like hermaphrodite or something.
that's what I was thinking, that they have both sex organs. Because I was
Mm,
like, maybe because English is not his first language, right? So he doesn't know our slang. He doesn't know. So maybe he heard bi means two. He was like, oh, bi and sexual. That means you have two sexual organs. Because that's what I thought at first too. Because he was
mhm.
like, well, how would I have sex with you? Because would it be anal all the time? So I was like, well, maybe he thinks that she doesn't have a vagina. because
Mhm.
that's how it sounded. But he never really explained himself, which was probably good, probably best that he didn't. But it was really interesting because Usman, who he claims has so much game and so many different women in his DMs, he got to fight these women off. They want him so much, so bad. He had never heard the term bisexual, so it makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's weird. You think he's like an international superstar, rock star, that he fucks a lot of chicks, and then all of a sudden he's coming across seeming very naive. You would think he would have had like threesomes and bi chicks and freaks and lesbians and all sorts of shit.
I'm
The
beginning.
title of today's episode was The Boy Who Didn't Know What Bi Meant.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's really. It was really funny though, because yeah, a rapper who doesn't know about bisexual, and not only didn't know what it was, he said that he is not interested in it. I've never met a rapper that didn't want a woman that went both ways, right? Like that's literally every rapper's girlfriend or wife. She's gonna eat some carpet at some point. That's just what rappers want their wife or girlfriend to do. So the idea that this rapper doesn't want that kind of discredits him as a rapper for me, right? Like he loses a little street cred for me because he's like, oh, I want my wife to be straight and never to have seen another vagina in her life. And I was like, that's not rap culture at all, right? Like that's literally the farthest from rap culture you can get.
Yeah, he's coming across like as not much of a rocker, if you will.
I feel like he should be on the show Virgins, the show on TLC right now, the Virgin show, because I feel like he's probably only had sex with Kimberly and Lisa.
Maybe.
I can't prove that. This is alleged, but it doesn't sound like he's been having a lot of sex other than with his first wife and then his second fiance. I think that's probably the only time it's happened. Because, and no, how would you? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I knew about bisexual as like a preteener. Like,
Mhm.
I learned about this stuff pretty early, and I was in a religious cult, and I only was around like other cult members, and I still knew, right? So the idea that he's a rapper with girls twerking in his music videos and he didn't know what it meant for two women or two men to be together is crazy to me.
Yeah, this whole it's weird. This show is it's made Usman seem like a lot lamer of a rock star, and it made Rob the Knob look cooler.
It actually has. And is it possible for Usman to look any more lame than he already did? I mean, no
Hmm.
offense, Usman, but you weren't.
No, we'll make fun of him. We can make fun of him considering.
It wasn't like he was known for getting the hottest, like 21-year-old hot girls or whatever. Like he was already up there with, the older ladies. He only had the older ladies. And now that we're watching him on this date with Nikki, I think it became painfully obvious that he doesn't have any game. I think
Yeah.
that he's always relied on women chasing after him.
Hmm.
And in America, usually the guy is the one that does most of the chasing. Like women,
Yeah.
they'll call you, they'll text you, they'll do whatever. But if you want to take her out, if you want to do things, you've got to make that effort. You have to make those plans. You got to tell her
Mhm.
where you're gonna.
Like I was getting deja vu when he would go to like Courtney's room, and then he'll be like, "Okay, you go take a shower, and then I'm gonna go to my room and I'll call you, text you, and then we'll go on our date tomorrow." And I'm like, "Dude, you're in Mexico with Courtney. This isn't even the first night. Like, this is the second time you walk into her room, and then you just tell
And
her like,
walk
go in your
right
room, do
back.
your thing. It's like
Yeah,
this is your opportunity to go jump her fucking bones. What are you doing?"
this is yeah. You know what? I was thinking the same thing because I was like, "This is you're on an island. You're single. She's single. This is the second time she's invited you in her room, and this is the second time you're walking away." And it's like it's almost like, but again, I don't think that their relationship is legit. Like I'm gonna be real with you. I think that they have hung out before, but I don't think that they're like boyfriend and girlfriend like that. I don't think that that's the case. Or do you feel like Courtney is his type? Do you feel like if he was gonna date a girl his age, Courtney would be his type?
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends. It's like if we really want to be objective in terms of the tea on them. So I guess the tea was though they had hung out before, like in Turkey and banged, right?
Well, that was
Allegedly.
the tea. They both deny it, but that's the
Yeah.
tea. They
Mm.
were there for
It,
over a week in the same room. So I don't know, man.
yeah. Like so okay, if we are the tea masters, so if we want to be more objective instead of subjective, it could be a thing too, and I guess this would be in Usman's defense. It could be a thing that he banged her in Turkey, so it was already a conquest. So he's already conquered that. So at this point, he's like, he's been there, done that. So he's not really excited anymore. That's why he's not really chasing anymore. He's like, I fucked her already in Turkey. There's really no new excitement here. I've already been there, done that. So maybe that's why he's not chasing after her anymore.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Mm.
The chase has
The
been.
hunt is the hunt is over.
And
Yeah.
also, I will say, oh my God, I just realized that that girl, the school teacher, I think she was on this episode. We'll get to that later though. But I
Mhm.
do want to say that he is a Muslim, right? And I know Muslims don't really portray having sex before marriage. So maybe the idea of him doing it on camera was something
Mhm.
that he was trying to avoid.
Mhm.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. If he's already done it, he can't be he can't be no saint. He's just being a hypocrite now.
Oh no, this is how Muslims are.
I
But
know.
They will make a mistake, but then
mhm.
they'll still stick to being, a Muslim and saying, "Oh, we don't do that."
Yeah, but like when he was with Kembali, it was like obvious like he would bang her and then like the next morning they're filming with him in bed and stuff.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And we know that he banged baby girl Lisa because she told us on the show.
Hmm.
I think it was the very first night actually. He banged
Yeah.
her or whatever, and he acted like he didn't, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we most definitely had sex. We definitely did." So we know that he does it.
But he was definitely more aggressive with like Kimberly when he was like he was talking about that like root or the like sex root or something that like makes you horny. Like he was very like aggressive and like charming and outgoing, and so he was more like aggressive with Kimberly than with Courtney.
You right, you right, you right. I remember they called it the power bike and the sex
Oh yeah.
all these words. So yeah, maybe, just maybe he is only attracted to older women, and like
Mhm.
maybe the libido is not kicking in for the younger women. Like for maybe for him, because there are a lot of people like that, men that are only interested in younger girls, or girls that are only interested in older men. Like maybe for him, that's not just these are the women that go for me. That's what gets him going. Like maybe a older women is just what he really craves.
Mhm.
It could be. I mean, I don't know what he likes specifically. We know his last two that we saw in the show were older, but then I think one or two of them that he dated outside of the show were around his age. But I think one of them was Zara, and I don't think that they ever met in person. So I don't know what was going on with that. And I think the other one was like his age that lived in America, but I think that they only saw each other for like a week and broke up during that week or something like that. So maybe it's just older girls that get him going, and so maybe Courtney just ain't old enough for him. Maybe the titties are not sagging low enough to get him going. Like they're too perky. He doesn't like that.
Yeah, someone needs to remind him if he ends up with four wives, one of those four is probably going to be bi.
Oh, 1 in 4. That's true. That you're actually right. That's actually accurate. And the funny part is he's allowed to have up to 4 wives, but he doesn't have one, which I think is really weird because I was like, if you're looking for the one or the four, why
Hmm.
haven't you at least, gotten one so far? It's like really weird to me that he's this international superstar. He's got all this fame, all this money. He travels all the
Hmm.
time. He's got music that's huge in, I don't know, some country, and there's no wife because he's been saying he's looking for a wife. He's looking for a wife. He's looking for a wife. He's pushing 40. Why can't you find a wife? Right?
Yeah, and then speaking of why can't you find a wife, like not to shit on our good pal, hashtag sarcasm sandwich Tim, but he has these like pipe dreams that like Elise and him would be like a magical couple.
I saw that and I can't agree. I think Elise is looking for,
She's looking to be on a yacht in
yeah.
Miami.
I mean, but don't get me wrong. Tim has shown a lot of things that show that he has money, but
Hmm.
but Jennifer made it very clear that he has no interest in spending that money on a woman. Because Jennifer was like, because he was like, oh, she's a gold digger, and Jennifer's like, let me make one thing very clear: he ain't never gave me a dime.
Hmm.
So if you think that you're gonna get with this man and he's gonna buy you a car or get you on a yacht or do all these things, Tim doesn't do that for women. He might do it for himself, but he
Hmm.
doesn't do it for women. So I don't know what he's thinking with Elise. I mean, he's got to attach himself to somebody because you don't want to be the only single person at the island, right? Like
Yeah,
you
without a storyline, yeah.
yeah, you don't
And
want to be the only one that can't find anyone to date on the island because if you were on Love Island, when you're single and vulnerable, they kick your ass off the island. So you don't want to be the only person that can't find someone. So he needs to cling on to somebody. And I
mhm.
guess Elise and him have like a good rapport.
Yeah.
See, like a friend, Elise looks like a good time. I don't see how anybody would not get along with Elise. You'd have to be pretty much a loser prude who doesn't drink to hate her. Like she's like a fun person. Anybody would have a good time with her. But
Yeah.
him is barking up the wrong tree. Like Elise, of all people, she's not going to play that game. She wants to get banged, and she wants to get banged really hard. And we
Yeah.
know that Tim ain't banging nobody, so it's not going to work.
True. Yeah, like two things I want to get off my chest. One is, yeah, Lisa initially she started off bad, but now she's more likable. And the other thing I want to say is with Tim, with his beard, do you think he like dyes his beard dark?
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, he does. Yeah, I can tell.
They have like hair mascara that you can buy too.
Hmm.
Really? See,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
True.
Oh, I wanted to bring up. So Elise said that her when she was talking to Tiffany, she said that she was being slandered because people were saying that she slept with Rob, when it was actually Jen. When I thought it was ironic because she's like, I don't want people thinking like I'm this whore, and I was like, well, you wanted Rob to bang you. You basically begged him, but he said
Hmm.
no. But I was like, now that people think he did. Now you're upset. And I was like, that's kind of weird because I was like, you really, really tried to get him to bang you the first night, but he was like trying to be respectful and didn't
Yeah,
do it.
the first night she was damn near spreading her cheeks for him
Right?
wide.
I mean, and they didn't even know each other's last name at that point. And she was like, I'll show you my butt and you can kiss me and
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. Let's go to your room. And Rob was just like, this is a lot, even for me. You know, like this is
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
And
like the first night, instead of like J Canal, the first night she was like E Canal.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it was kind of ironic that she was like, I'm sick of people thinking that I'm easy. And I was like, well, based on how you acted on the first night, they thought that. I was like, I'm glad that you're redeeming yourself. But I was like, these rumors are not only because of Jennifer and Rob, it's kind of how you acted on the first night.
Hmm.
That
True, I
could have
agree.
been an influx of alcohol as well.
You're
Hmm.
right. You're right. That the alcohol was flowing, and
Hmm.
maybe she thought Rob was attractive, and she maybe was a little too loose on the first night, out of character loose. When you're in Mexico, you having a good time, you looking cute, you got a nice drink in your hand, you might be a little out of character. Unfortunately, the cameras were there to capture it though, so now we get to see it.
Like, what did you think of the guy Jay who kind of asked out Tiffany? And then, real quick before you answer that question, Elaine is not here anymore. I checked, but she had a funny reference where she called the like background cast members like NPCs, which is a video game reference, which means non-playable characters. So she's calling them NPCs. So, what do you think of Jay, the NPC, asking out Tiffany?
I mean, I was like, who are you? Where'd you come from?
Mm,
Hmm.
I-
I think I saw a preview of him in the beginning. He said that he didn't like Chantel. Is this the same dude that said that he didn't like Chantel? I kind of feel like it was
mm,
him. Like
I
in the
don't
very
remember.
beginning, there was a guy and
yeah.
him and Chantel were going at it, and
Mhm.
he was like, I don't want to go on a date with you. And she's like, why? And he was like, because you're shallow and I don't even like you. Or I'm pretty sure it was him. But
Mhm.
this is like his first emergence on the show. This is like episode 7. Because I was like, they really needed to introduce the cast, the extra NPCs. Just give them like a hot 10 seconds. Say, hey,
Mhm.
my name is Jay. I'm from so and so, and I like this type of girl. Like they really should have given us something to work with because we're really scrounging here. We're like trying to understand who these people are, where they came from. Are they gonna be here after tonight? Right? Like
Mhm.
it's almost like they're voting people off the island, but we're not a part of the elimination process. So it's like there's
Yeah.
people, there's no people we thought were there that aren't anymore. It's super freaking confusing. So if there is a second season, they're gonna have to account for who these people are and at least give them 10 seconds to introduce themselves.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of fucked up in a sense of like I know they don't want to dedicate the whole show to like these new random people, but like they did like zero character development on the new characters because like we literally don't have much going on in terms of to talk about because we don't know. For example, Jay, we don't know shit about him, so there's nothing to talk about him, right?
Nothing,
So it's like
right?
they need to do a better job of like
They should
finding cast members that aren't NPCs and they are interesting, even if they're on for 5 minutes. At least it would be an interesting 5 minutes.
I
So they got
know. And I
to.
feel like in episode 1, you know how everybody, all of the 90-day cast came out with their blindfolds on?
Hmm.
They should have did that segment, left it the way it was, but then did a second segment with just the NPCs and
Hmm.
just let them introduce themselves and give them like 10 seconds each to say where they're from and what they're looking for. And then that at least we could have all started on a level playing field because we already knew who the 90 Day people were. We had that advantage, but they should have at least did a equal scene. Just
Mhm.
obviously a blindfold isn't necessary because we didn't know who the hell they were anyway. But at least just give them an opportunity to tell us who they are, where they're from, what they're looking for in a guy
But
or a.
that means you would have to pay them.
Well, you got isn't an appearance fee an appearance fee? Like they got to get paid
Mhm.
regardless. They could have at least put them all in one scene and just let them tell us. We don't even know how old people are. Like, can we
No,
Yeah.
know their age and where they're from just so it makes sense? You know?
Yeah. It feels weird like being. I feel like I'm more famous than the NPCs.
Well, you kind of
you
are
are.
because at the end of the day, we're never gonna know anything else about them. Like what we
Yeah.
get is literally just their first name, and then
Mhm.
when I'm on Twitter and I'm looking at the tweets, the people are literally tweeting this person whose name I don't know because they don't even know
Mhm.
what to put. They don't know who they're talking about. They have
Yeah.
The
nothing.
dude that looks like this, that was wearing this, or the chick that
Yeah,
was wearing this, looking like this.
they
Yeah.
don't even know how to approach it because I don't know. I feel like this was a weird. So when it went through editing, somebody should have said something like, "Hey, this doesn't make sense. People are gonna
Like,
remember."
or here's another like idea, and we're just like brainstorming. But like, so remember, like on Match Me Abroad, like Harold went on a date with the chick, and her name was like Cheesy, and I'm sure that's
Yes.
like not a real name, but they gave her a funny nickname for the show, Cheesy. So like, even on this Hunt for Love, like this guy Jay, I didn't know his fucking name was Jay, but like only because he was on at the end of the show tonight. But instead of like Jay, if he had a cool nickname, like well, in my case, it'd be Shabooty, but like a funny nickname that he had, and he got introduced by his funny nickname, at least you would remember him better.
I mean, anything. Anything
Yeah.
would
Anything,
work.
any
Right?
name.
Any name, anything would work. I feel like the people that edited the show, because you know when a show goes through final editing and then you have a screening with all the executive producers, nobody said, "Hey, did you notice that nobody knows who any of the extra cast members are, and we didn't
Mhm.
dedicate any point in introducing them? Like it's crazy that nobody thought that this was gonna arise, or maybe
Yeah. I mean, because like even our podcast is we're pretty good at it. Like Pineapple Girl is not, that's not like her government name. But and then we have like Lana from Fresno, Jenny from Toronto. I forget what other, but we like nickname our cast members and shit. So it's at least they're memorable, even though our super hardcore listeners. But like they need to do a better job of that.
nah, you're right. Oh, another idea they could have did 90 Day Cast versus the NPCs where they did a challenge. That would
Hmm.
have also helped us learn a little bit more about them because they would have had to tell them your name and where you're from and how old you are, and they would have had enough camera time that we could have kept the name and the face together, right? Because
Yeah.
that's another issue. They're like, even if they tell you the person's name, but we don't see them for 5 episodes, we don't remember. Right, like we
Yeah.
see Cole every week because he's stalking Jenn. Right, so
Mhm.
we know who Cole is. We saw Carlo for a while, then he disappeared. We saw what was Mustache's guy's name? Um,
Rocky.
Rocky or
Rocky. You
Rocco.
saw Rocky for like 3 episodes, so that stuck. But like they should have at least did a challenge where it was 90 days against the NPCs, and then they competed against each other, so we would have got to know them in like a team setting at least.
Yeah, and we're like the hardcore of the hardest core super fans. So like if we don't know somebody's name, that's a bad sign.
Well, yeah, we analyze everything. We literally notice in every scene everything, the people, the item on the counter, everything. If there was a dildo on the nightstand behind them, we saw
Mhm.
it. We saw everybody saw that fucking raccoon. We
Yeah,
would
the,
The
that's what I was gonna say.
raccoons.
The raccoon that sniffed whoever's ass, we were on
Oh,
top of it.
yeah, like so you don't even have to try that hard. Just give them 10 seconds and we would have caught on and we would have been able to run with.
The raccoons have had more camera time than these
Yeah, the
folks.
raccoon's more famous than the NPCs.
Yeah, I kind of want to meet the raccoon to be 100%.
Yeah. True. All right. Well, we definitely did a pretty long episode. It's 11 p.m. on a school night. Any other things you want to say before we end it?
We covered everything.
No,
There wasn't
True.
a whole bunch going on. So yeah, we covered everything.
True. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna try to upload it tonight to be ahead of the game, and then look for us on Friday. Well, we'll talk about Amani's preview video.
I have a lot to say. So y'all don't miss it on Friday because the first ever 90-day diss track is coming out and we have so much to discuss. It's so much, right? Like we are now in rapper space where people are dissing each other from the franchise.
True. All right. Well, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you everybody for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on
It's on a Monday.
Monday.
Peace out. Thank you
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye.